Welcome into another edition of Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye Lee-McNelis as the Lady Eagles coming off the bye week in the game on the road in Ruston against Louisiana Tech. And Coach, we were laughing coming into the show. You've got your stress ball there. Ah! Good gracious. I didn't know what you were going to do with it. I'm safe. Craig's safe.
The cameras are okay.
That was a microcosm of last week. Has it been was it a little stressful last week, to say the least, as obviously Louisiana Tech played very well and the Lady Eagles struggled the most they have this season?
You know what? It was truly an embarrassment. It was. I mean, that's how you sum it. Our players will tell you that. Our coaches will tell you that. But I am going to say this, and I'm not making an excuse. Louisiana Tech played unbelievable. You know, their fans even told some of our boosters that it's the best they've played all year. They truly, Josh, popped us in the mouth, and we didn't handle it at all. And if it looked like we were playing elementary basketball to the people on TV, to the people that listen to you, to our fans that made it, we were. It was absolutely awful. Now, I take responsibility for that. I'm not sure why it became so awful. We were undisciplined. We turned the ball over. We didn't box out. And we've just got to do a better job in preparing them for that. You know, where you just get more physical in practice. You know, I told my coaches, I said, I just wish I was young enough to get out there. I'd just like to be out there in an attack mentality, because that's what happened. La Tech popped us in the mouth, and we backed down. And that's what has happened, Josh, at Charlotte and at Old Dominion. And now we've got the other two-headed side of this monster at UTEP and at UTSA. And we got to be able to handle it. We can't tuck our tails and run. We've got to bow up and be ready to go to war. On Tuesday's practice, we went to war. And that's the great thing about it. And that's why I'm not completely gray-headed, and I still have some hair. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, because this team is extremely disappointed in their performance, and that they were in a Golden Eagle uniform, a Southern Miss uniform, and they performed like they had never practiced before. One of the words when we watched film was discipline, that one of the players said. It was just lack of discipline. You know, we just lost it, and no one could regain it. And I'm telling you, Josh, I've talked to a lot of my colleagues, and the bottom line is we have young players with very little experience. Brittany Dinkins being the player with the most experience of anybody on our team, and she struggled, and we had no leadership in our free throw huddles to say, hey, let's get it together, we're okay. And because of not having that, like La Tech had it in Pomeroy, they had it in Santos, they had it in Wingate, to be able to pull their group together and dominate us, and we don't have that. So what we have to do as coaches is we've got to become a player's leader. And, you know, Coach Todd Monken, I've heard him say over and over again, team-led makes a great team. We're not there yet because of the inexperience. We're not team-led. We're not. And you have to have that to be successful. And I've met with our players, our coaches have met with them, and talked about taking responsibility and feeling accountable for what my job description is. I heard LeBron James say on TV, it's if you know the exact description of your job, you're held accountable for it. And that's what we have done in meeting with our players, to make sure that they understand what their exact job description is and what the expectation is, and to know they have to take responsibility and they're going to be held accountable for it.
You hear a very passionate Coach McNelis here on this edition of Southern Miss Sports Today, and we had to lighten it up at the start, and then it gets serious in a hurry. And, you know, Coach, the question then becomes, was it a little bit of a burnout for this team? Was it a complacency in this team after you average 86 points per game over the two at home? Have you been able to diagnose it?
No, I'm going to be very honest with you. I think it truly boils down to you have some young girls in a schoolyard, and one team becomes the bully, and the other team runs. And that's what we were. That's what we did. That's exactly what it was. You play it on the courts at the park, you pop me in the mouth, then I don't come back. And, you know, that's what we've got to get better at. We're the teams that are popping people in the mouth in Reed Green because, you know what? We feel like we've got the whole Coliseum to back us. And we don't have that when we're on the road, even though we had a great group that followed us to La Tech, and our booster club took a bus. But we just did not handle the pressure of being popped in the mouth and then going to score, and we miss buckets. We turn it over. We had turnovers, Josh. We haven't turned it over like that all year. What are you doing? And again, I just think that it is the leadership, being team-led, and the mentality that when we get in a funk, we can't get out. We don't know how to get out. And that's our coach's responsibility to be able to help them learn how to dig out of the pit.
One bright spot in the ball game was LaShira Cotton, 9.6 rebounds. Would have been our feature today, but she is taking care of class responsibilities. She's a player that's her role. If she gives us that every night, that energy, then she will be fulfilling her role.
You know, she played very hard. I mean, if there's player of the game, it's no doubt it's LaShira Cotton. She played hard. She played on a mission. She did what was asked of her. She competed. She scored. She boarded. And what a lot of people don't realize with Shy, she has bungee cords on both of her shoulders because of them being dislocated. She can't lift her shoulders up without cords pulling her shoulders down. So it's not like she's just one of the other players. She is overcoming a lot. And we've got to get, I told her before that game, we've got to have double digits and 6 or more rebounds. And I'm going to tell you, LaShira Cotton was disappointed that she didn't get double digits, because that was her mission, and she truly was the bright spot. And I'm going to tell you, Josh, she is a precious child that wants to be successful, has battled injuries her whole career. And right now, she is just ready to make steps beyond and get those injuries healed, and that will take place after the season. But she knows we've got games left, and she says, Coach, I'm just going to tell you, I'm giving it my best every possession, every day to help us get on track.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue with the show. But taking us to break, former player Joye Martin going to have a little feature we taped last week. Then coming back from break, we'll have Coach Dupuis mic'd up. Our mic'd up segments return. And then in our final segment, we'll look ahead to the big West Swing into Texas, UTEP and UTSA. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a big challenge for the Southern Miss Lady Eagles. We'll be back right after this. You're watching Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye Lee-McNelis.
Hi, I'm Joye Martin, here to give you a player's perspective on what's going on this season. The girls are getting ready to go on an away stint. They're preparing for UTEP and UTSA. And from my experience, both of those schools are rival schools. So just UTEP in itself is a tough trip. You have to fly all day. Your legs are cramped up on a plane all day. And not only that, when you get off the plane, you have to go right into a practice. So that in itself is tough, along with battling the altitude at UTEP. It's hard to breathe there. No excuses, but I know the girls can handle it. UTSA last year, we beat them by a very entertaining buzzer beater from Alex Coyne, and they've always given us a run for our money at home and away. They're also a scrappy team. They're relentless, really. We're preparing for them. The coaches have done their research, they've scouted them. We know what worked in the past, so we're gonna perfect that. Well, they are gonna perfect that and, you know, do what little tweaks needs to be made so they'll be able to be successful. This is Joye Martin signing off with an inside look on the Lady Eagles practice.
Thank you so much for this prestigious award. I would like to thank my friends and family.
Hey, it's time for your homework.
Coming, Mama, as I'm saying. I would also like to thank my educators for all they've done with me. Without them, I couldn't do anything.
And the winner of the first place award for small cities is Hattiesburg, Mississippi for the Education Initiative.
What are you doing back there, Haley?
Feeling like a winner.
playing, keep playing. Reshape. Reshape. Head on a swivel. Get there. Find the body. Find the body. How many times does the shooter shoot it and go get their own ball? How many times that happens? Never. So if you see that they're not coming in, you got to get down in here in case it's being tipped around to come help. Okay? Very rarely is the shooter going to crash. Okay? Ready? Let's go. Talk. Cover.
We're back here on Southern Miss Sports Today with head coach Joye Lee-McNelis. The stress ball made it back, as you saw at the end of the last segment. The soft toss, a little calmer here to start the second segment. We've been self-soothing here, Coach. We're relaxed a little bit in the second segment, but what keeps you up at night is where we're headed. That is to, as you say, the end of the earth, UTEP, UTSA, West Texas two-step, as you like to call it. It's going to be a challenge for the Lady Eagles.
It's a 1-2, a 1-2, rather than a 1-1-2. It's a little bit slower. And I'm going to tell you, our new players to travel to UTEP, that I do think's at the end of the earth, I will tell you, it will be an extreme challenge. It will be the highest challenge that we face all year. Why? The flight, the altitude. As you know, when you get there, one trip up and down that floor, you feel like you can't breathe. You think you have pneumonia or you're having an asthma attack. So we've not even mentioned that to our players. And so we don't want them to know about it, the new ones. So let's just see if they get it. Let's see if it's all in the mind. I don't really think that it is, because I've been there and I know how difficult it is to play there. We were very fortunate last year. We were able to get a win there. And we've got to go in with the attitude that we've practiced with after the La Tech game and be ready to really compete. We've got to take care of the basketball, and we got to box out, and we got to play physical.
And then, Coach, from UTEP, you go from El Paso, get a direct flight into San Antonio. UTSA, they play with no fear in their gymnasium. They are a completely different team on their floor. It took a banked-in three by former Lady Eagle Alex Coyne, one of the highlights of the year last year, to steal a win from them. What an exciting game. We expect nothing less coming up in that second game.
I'm telling you, first of all, Keitha does an unbelievable job. She's a dear friend of mine at UTEP, and she does unbelievable. And then you have Luby that has an undersized team with Tisha Smith at 5'10" in the post that will be one of the toughest post players we play against, because Tisha plays with a chip on her shoulder. And I am telling you, those players at UTSA, they play hard. They run the dribble drive. They're coming at you. They're going to attack your zone off a dribble drive. They're going to dribble handoff. It is total attack mentality in San Antonio. It's like when the Alamo was attacked many years ago. It's exactly what the Roadrunners do on their home floor. The Lady Eagles have to be ready to battle in the Alamo to be able to compete and try to pull an upset.
And then, Coach McNelis, in closing, you were out last week recruiting for mugshots out with Lady Eagle Fast Break. You'll be back next week, correct?
I will be.
So fans will get to talk about the Texas Road Swing, and then also look ahead to the two-game homestand coming up with two more teams, North Texas and Rice, coming to town. We'll talk about all that at Mugshots Grill and Bar. Coach, thanks so much for your candor, for taking your time. You've been watching Southern Miss Sports Today right here on the Southern Miss IMG Sports Network.
Southern Miss fans, show your pride with real Golden Eagles gear from the official online store, shop.southernmiss.com. You'll find everything a Golden Eagles fan needs, from jerseys to sideline gear, polos, t-shirts, hats, and more. With an awesome selection of Golden Eagles products, including official team merchandise from Russell, when it comes to Golden Eagles pride, there's only one place real Southern Miss fans go, shop.southernmiss.com.